welcome to the Never Seen It podcast, the only podcast called Never Seen It that's worth listening to. And that's true despite how many new Never Seen It seem to be coming out every other day. We're still the number one place for your Never Seen It needs. And of course, with us tonight, as always, but you won't find on all those other Never Seen It's, Mr. Arnie, the one-man party, a.k.a. Arnold Callego, who's drinking a nice Voodoo. Ooh, I like Voodoo Ranger. Good stuff, Arnold.
Yeah, I love them IPAs.
Mr. Daily Dares, a.k.a. Filipino Grigio, a.k.a. Alex Callego, the brothers Callego. Mr. Donnie Appleseed, a.k.a. Donnie Guzman, the cousins Callego. Mr. Ghost Nerd 88, a.k.a. Justin Holden. And there's me, Boots Too Big, a.k.a. Adrian De La Torre. And the movie we are discussing tonight is a 1995 film directed by Gregg Araki, The Doom Generation.
Have either of you ever had sex with an animal?
Just you.
Jordan White and Amy Blue, two troubled teens, pick up an adolescent drifter, Xavier Red. Together, the threesome embarks on a sex and violence-filled journey through a United States of psychos and quick marts. Why does this sound oddly familiar? Alex, you chose this movie. Why did you choose this movie?
I chose this movie because, as you all know, that I'm a 90s indie film nerd. I haven't seen this in a long time, since maybe the 90s, because it's a hard movie to find. Although you can, it's not. You could go to eBay, probably gonna buy a copy, but yeah, it's just it spoke to me back in the day, just because it was just one of those movies that I kind of felt like it came around the time like Pulp Fiction, Natural Born Killers, those kinds of films, this ultra violent type of deal. And at the time, I kind of felt like it was trying to emulate Tarantino in a way. But then, you watch it, and as we'll discuss, it definitely isn't. It's a little bit more than it kind of like takes Tarantino's lunch and eats it, in my opinion. But yeah, as far as the violence goes, but yeah, it's I think I've only seen it once or twice, back in the day. But yeah, I wanted to rewatch it, see it through the lens of 40 something Alex Callego, over 20 years later, and yeah, that's why I chose it.
Well, it was a great pick because I'd never seen it. A lot of us, actually, the rest of us here haven't seen it. Justin, you hadn't seen it. What was your perception of this movie before you watched it?
I had no perception. I can't see. I'm blind. No, I'm just kidding. Doom Generation. Never seen it before. It seemed pretty interesting, just the title alone. I was actually expecting a little bit of a different type of movie, but I was actually pleasantly surprised by how this film turned out. I like the there's a lot of sex in this, and a lot of experimentation, and then when there is like blood and gore, it's pretty ultra violent, which is pretty cool. I think the scene that threw me off the most was the Quickie Mart. Are they allowed to call it the Quickie Mart because of like copyright? Well, anyway,
I was thinking about that. I think it's just like a generic thing. Like
yeah. I mean, there's actual Quickie Marts all across the country that are owned by other people. So.
Oh, okay. I guess that makes sense. I thought that was interesting for the beginning to kind of set the tone for the rest of the movie. I thought it was hilarious when they shot that guy's head off, and he was still able to talk and throw up. I honestly, I just got done eating food while that scene was happening, because I like to eat while watching movies.
Were you eating a glizzy?
No, I was not eating a glizzy. I was eating In-N-Out,
mushy peas.
Actually, so
mushy peas.
So it kind of reminded me of like the secret sauce that I was eating. Anyway, it was that was very disgusting. I was like, how can a headless man just like vomit? So the anatomy in the movie is quite strange. It does remind me a little bit of like ultra violent, like Tarantino. I would say is, and it's so weird to say this, but I think because Tarantino is ultra violent, I still think his violence is a little bit more grounded than this film. I mean, getting his head shot off by a shotgun, and still able to talk, like, and also how much was that head able to talk after it's been shot off? Because when the news section came up from it, I thought it was completely hilarious. They're like, oh yeah, and then his wife, like, I guess he was talking about who killed him, and then his wife, in some like occult type of ritual, killed his kids, and then killed her and stabbed herself or whatever. I thought that was all completely ridiculous, but it was very interesting and funny. I thought this movie was a little bit goofy, but there was also some like besides like all the sexuality experimentation, like late teens type of theming going on. I felt that there was a little bit of a nice little coming of age story at the same time, figuring themselves out, and they're all just kind of like lost in this bizarre world and post-apocalyptic styled society. I don't know. It felt like it was like Scott Pilgrim versus the World, but on like heavy meth or something. It was kind of interesting to make that juxtaposition.
Yeah, I had no preconceived notions of this movie whatsoever. I didn't even read like the blurb, log line, or anything like that. And then when I first started watching it, in the first few minutes, they're kind of like at a nightclub or something, and the lighting reminded me of Groove. And I thought I was expecting a movie similar to Groove, and then the Quickie Mart scene happened with the head. And that, to me, set the tone for the rest of the movie. Like, that alone was like, okay, so it's going to be this kind of movie. Interesting. Here we go. And I was not expecting that at all. Arnold, were you expecting somebody to have their head chopped off within the first 10 minutes?
I had no idea. I was thinking, like, is this Doom, like Doom the video game? Wasn't The Rock in it? Didn't The Rock do Doom? But then I saw it was like the 90s. And I saw the picture of I forgot where I did it on Amazon or where I rented it for free or with the free trial. Anyways, was totally not that. Oh, and Alex, I was gonna ask, did you pick this because it's now the 30-year anniversary of Doom Generation?
I actually didn't realize it. I didn't realize that until after the fact. But yeah, hey,
it's just how things aligned. It's just how things align.
It's serendipity. Serendipity, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the hand gesture you make when you want to say that sort of thing, right, Arnold?
Right. You know, like Spock.
Yeah. Oh, you're Spock now.
Spock.
I like it.
And then, you know, it just like fits.
Come in peace, or what does he say? What's the line? Live and let go.
Long and prosper.
Live long and prosper, yeah.
Live long, die hard.
Yeah. No, Live and Let Go was evil Spock with the little goatee.
Have it your way.
Have it your way, yeah. He works for Burger King now.
Who's got the beef?
He's got. We're just gonna do all the '90s commercial references.
Did what was it? Jordan? Did Jordan kind of make you guys think of Keanu Reeves?
I could see that.
Honestly, to be honest, like during that time, he was often compared to Keanu.
Whoa.
Yeah. You know,
I'm happy.
Who I recognize him from? I'm like, oh, that's the son in Independence, the RV trailer park son.
Yeah, I was texting Alex about this.
Yeah, I was like, oh yeah, that's
Isn't he in Donnie Darko also?
Yeah, he's in Donnie Darko. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's right.
He rewatched Donnie Darko.
The rabbit guy.
That's a good movie. That's a good one.
He's actually kind of considered the Parker Posey of the 90s, like
the male Parker Posey.
The male Parker Posey of the 90s.
Wait, Keanu or the guy that plays Jordan?
Was it James Duvall is his name?
James Duvall, yeah.
Interesting. I never. I would have thought Keanu was the Parker Posey of male actors.
He did a lot more big roles.
Would you say Keanu is the Sandra Bullock of male actors? I don't know why that's even a good analogy.
Sandra
I mean, they were.
That was.
I don't know.
Listen, let's speed out of this conversation.
Yeah, we're not talking about Speed. That movie. What was that? Amy. She was. Sorry, Molly. There's Molly hacking again.
Every time it gets
for making her cameo.
I keep thinking you live in a rest home, Arnold.
Molly, go over there. But because she saw me eating pork rinds, so she's always looking for food. I thought it was funny how they're like, oh yeah, I'm not hungry. Remember, I'm speeding. I think that's what she said, right?
That is what she said.
Something like that.
I'm speeding. Exactly what she said.
Wow.
I mean, back in the day, we would used to say we're tweaking.
Yeah.
People
Well,
would say that we're tweaking.
You're tweaking the story now is what you're doing, Arnold. But in all seriousness, what was I going to say? By the way, we're streaming live on YouTube and Twitch. If anybody out there is watching us, of the 4 people, you 4, talk to us. We have a Christopher in the chat. Pokey Wozy. I don't know if that's trying to rhyme with Parker Posey, but hello, Chris. Welcome.
I think they're saying Poke Hoozy.
Poke Who's?
Who the hell are you talking about? Because you know what? Quite frankly, Adrian, who are you talking about? I don't
Parker
even know.
Posey?
Parker Posey. I don't know who that is.
So she
was
what
in
has
a
she
lot
been
of
in, Alex?
So she was in.
She was in White Lotus. Did you watch White Lotus recently?
No. She was in Dazed and Confused. That was like one of her big she's best known for her role, her star-making role in the indie film Party Girl.
Oh, okay.
Definitely, yeah. You've probably seen that cover. You've probably seen it scrolling through like Amazon or something like that. But yeah,
you'd probably know her face if you saw it. I think.
Okay.
Yeah. And she's actually in the Doom Generation as well. She's in that bar scene where it's like.
Oh yes.
Yeah, the blonde one.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
The one that stabs
the guy.
Her man in the dick.
Yes.
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
Oh,
that's the one.
Donnie, what was your perception of this movie before you watched it?
I didn't have any either. I've never watched it. I've always seen it, I've came across it, but I just never picked it up, surprisingly. But I didn't know what to expect either. Once we got to that scene with in the Quickie Mart, that's when I kind of picked up on like the humor that was going to be prevalent throughout the movie. But before that, I really didn't know what to expect, or I didn't know, I didn't know how the movie was going to go. It was interesting though to see their fashion sense now in this day and age where it's very relevant, right? It's back to basically trending to what they were wearing back then. Made full circle. So that was interesting. I really love the lighting. I love the sets. This is Gregg Araki's biggest budget, I think, or at that time it was like $1 million, which is considered small, right? But like what they did with that and how they stretched it and how they utilized it I thought was phenomenal.
I agree. And you know what? So Rose McGowan, the star of the movie,
beautiful in this whole movie.
you can say that again, my friend. She was almost homeless, and she did this movie because she needed a paycheck. I was reading about that. I was like, wow. So she, did this movie because she was like in a tough spot, and I don't know that she regrets it. I think I was reading something that she may have regretted a lot of the sex stuff. I don't know, but
How old was she when she did that? I wonder.
Oh, she had to early 20s.
She had like a really, really baby face. At the beginning, there was like some close-ups. I was like, man, maybe it's the makeup, but it looks like a little like doll.
To be fair, she's always had that kind of baby face.
That and
At least
they needed someone at the time to play an 18-year-old, so I guess that kind of makes sense. Because in the movie, she's described as being 18 or something like that.
Yeah. There's a lot of sort of what I would call anti-religious, not symbolism, anti-religious sort of motifs in this movie. There's this everything costs $6.66, which, by the way, what talk about an inflation marker, huh? Everything costs. Can you imagine if everything costs 6.66 now? That'd be great. But obviously 666, the number of the beast. 666. Somebody said I'm like a devil on Facebook. One of our Facebook comments of love. If you remember, somebody called me like. And then in one of our videos, I screenshotted it. One of our videos got 666 views. So do that with what you will.
When Alex and I we went to SeaWorld's Hallow screen this weekend, bought 2 waters, and it came out to $6.66.
Nice. Both of them or individually?
Together.
Really? That's actually really cheap.
I
So
think
they
they
were-
did
well-
that on purpose. I think they did that on purpose.
333.
I think
Oh, I know, right? They must have given us like a 69% off or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, or maybe it was $4.20 off. Arnold. You know what I'm saying? But there is a lot of sort of anti-religious motifs in this film, and it's interesting, right? Because we're talking the '90s here. We're talking like peak, like people were fear mongering about devil stuff, devil worshipping, and like the Church of Satan and all that, and Dare. Do you know where your kids are and all that kind of bullshit? Alex, do you remember that? Do you think that this movie was sort of speaking out against that period of time, or what do you make of that?
I don't really feel like they were speaking out against that or anything. This movie was a commentary on that era in general. They kind of. I was listening to the soundtrack on my way home, and
Great soundtrack, by the way.
Yeah, the very first song that plays is Nine Inch Nails' "Heresy," where there's like "God is dead and no one cares," and that's kind of like that whole like sort of era of music is very politically charged, very like, you know, if you listen to a lot of the bands, you know, you got Nine Inch Nails, Rage Against the Machine, Radiohead, even like especially Radiohead when OK Computer comes out. Very, very political, very, you know, Tool. Tool is another band that was very political. And, you know, a lot of that was, you know, also religiously charged because they kind of foresaw what's kind of going on right now. You know, they're seeing this like Christian nationalist sort of thing going on that, you know, people for decades have been warning about, you know, this sort of like government and religion, you know, combining to be this sort of movement that is weaponizing a faith, which, you know, Arnold and I grew up Christian. I still believe, but I don't believe the way that like I don't believe in the God that a lot of these people believe in, right? They like there's a song that like we grew up singing in church is like just loves the little children, all the children of the world, red and yellow, black and white, all are precious in his sight. And I think about that song, and like none of that rings true with any of the quote unquote Christians. If that were like the thing that they were living by, then why is it that like we have all these problems with like what they're doing, you know? And so that's kind of what they foresaw in a lot of that era. So that
We need to sing. We need to sing that song with them.
Nope, they're not gonna listen.
Well, maybe that's why they won't. Maybe by singing it, by virtue of singing it, you will get them to listen. You'll get them to use their brain, right, Arnold?
Yeah. Maybe I'll whistle it first, and then they'll be like, "Hey, that's a nice little melody. What song
Arnold,
is
can you
that?"
whistle?
I mean, not that.
Someone's gonna take that audio clip and use it in the next horror movie.
Good.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Residuals are in the mail,
That's actually
Arnold.
a good idea.
I want to talk about the plot. They kill the cashier by accident. Well, actually, let's back up. Xavier. So, what's her name? Rose McGowan. Amy, and Jordan are in the Quickie Mart, and they don't have money to buy a hot dog and some other stuff. So the Korean shop owner is like, no, he brings out a shotgun. He's like, you pay now, or you know, right?
Because
No, he's like
if you saw the
$6.66.
line at the beginning, it says shoplifters will be executed. So they're serious.
Oh,
Especially
I missed
in
that
this
detail.
in this environment. It's like it seems like a Judge Dredd type of thing, or like RoboCop type of society. That's what I get out of it. It's like when you see things like that, that shopkeeper is serious. He's like, you're gonna steal, even if it is only $6.66. I'm going to kill you. It seems like
Right.
that's why that whole thing sets up the theme, which is why I think it's this kind of dystopian kind of world they live in a little bit. You know.
And that's why that opening scene is so important, because it sets up the rest of the movie. They can't pay for the food. They can't pay for whatever. And then Xavier, the weird drifter that they ran into at the beginning of the movie, comes in and basically saves the day in a way, except sort of not really, but in a way he does. He struggles with the shop owner, and then somehow his head gets blown off, and then they're on the run for the rest of the movie. Like it's a road trip movie, but they're on the run for the majority of it, and they run into all kind of cast of characters who. All of them know Amy, the girl Amy, but she doesn't know who they are. And then I thought they were going to eventually explain that, and they never did. Go ahead.
Yeah, what do you guys make of that?
They think they. Well, they think
That's what I'm
they
asking.
know her. They think they know her, but then one of the questions I have is like, maybe she does know them and she's playing it off because, she's a runaway and she's like doesn't have a good solid family life. She's like does drugs, and she uses people to get what she wants, but
More or less a couch hopper.
Pretty much. But then what happens is she meets Jordan. Is that his name? Jordan? James Duvall's character, Jordan. And he's this sort of naive, really youthful, exuberant type of deal, yet he also feels lost and he doesn't know what he wants. But he's of the three, he's the most optimistic. The rest of it, the rest of them are very nihilistic, and I think that's why later on in the film you see this the sexual tension between Amy and X culminate, and they just go for it. But what's funny is there's that sexual tension between X and Jordan as well. But that never culminates.
Yeah, I wanted to talk about that because they heavily tease this sexual tension between Jordan. There's so many moments throughout this movie where they're in a hotel or they're in a car or they're somewhere, and one guy's head is like this and another guy's head is like this, and they're millimeters away from each other, staring into each other's eyes, talking like the way Arnold talks to that red pillow thing. And you think they're gonna start making out?
Closer than that, Arnold.
Well, put it upside down, Arnold. Put it upside down. And this is a visual demonstration
at one point.
Yeah.
In one scene, their nose touch actually.
Their nose touch, yes. They're so. And each time I was expecting them to.
Well, do you think that was Araki's because he this kind of his heterosexual film, right?
Yeah.
Did you guys? Yeah. I think it's a part of his sense of humor, trying to play on that.
The opening titles of the movie say a heterosexual film by Gregg Araki. I was like, oh, nice, okay.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Apparently, this is
Go ahead, Arnold.
This was the sandwich of what do they call it? Three movies.
Apocalypse. The Team Apocalypse.
Teen Apocalypse.
I haven't seen the other two. I definitely want to watch them now and see what it's about.
I've seen Nowhere, the one after it, but I have never seen the first one.
Isn't James Duvall in one of them also?
He's in all three. He's in all three of them.
He's in all three.
He's in all three? Oh, okay.
Gregg Araki directed the Dahmer show on Netflix. I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that either.
That's
good.
really his.
Yeah, that was a good one. Yeah.
That was a good one. That was.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I didn't know that was
an interesting show.
You know what I love about Gregg Araki is he leans really heavily into the absurdity. The head getting cut off, but still being able to talk. The abstract nature of his movies make the topics that he talked for feel very simple. If you think about it, take away the whole the shop owner still being able to talk hours and hours after his head gets cut off. You still have this story of these kids who are lost, and it's a very simple story, but it's just, and it's this whole idea of experimenting, but he utilizes the absurdity to exaggerate the situations.
Yeah.
And I think that's really genius. I watched a movie recently called Boys Go to Jupiter, and they do the same thing in this animated film, very absurd, but it was just the story in that is a very simple about a kid feeling lost and not knowing what he wants out of his life, and then he finds his place. And I think in a way that's another movie that could be companion to the Doom Generation in a stranger way.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you bring that up because this movie is unabashedly violent and full of sex. There's lots of sex scenes in this movie. And like the first one, you're like, okay, wow, then that's probably going to be it. But no, there's a lot of fucking in this movie. It's a very horny movie. And I wanted to ask you guys, do you think that a movie this horny would get made today by either mainstream or indie directors? Because I don't think so. But how say you guys?
Maybe only in Serbia. Shout out to the episode Serbian film.
Yeah. No.
But here,
yeah. I mean, what do you think? I mean, Donnie, like, you know how prudish this new generation is of kids. Like, do you think they would watch a movie like this?
No, I don't think it would be. It'd be done differently. It'd be done more artistically, I think. And not to say this is not artistic, right? But I think they would find a different way to do it. But I think this is too much for.
I say
they
that,
would try to
like,
cancel it.
We talked about Honora on this show, and that movie had a lot of sex too. But
That's true, but this was more like in your face, wouldn't you say?
It was more
compared
in your
to
Honora was very artfully done.
right.
You know?
Exactly. That's what I mean, right?
Like it could almost be like a soft porn versus like this is hard.
Yeah.
I know this was like hardcore. They're like talking about like, oh yeah, when the balls slap together and you can feel the his and then her, and then you can.
But you know what? It was a good. They really showed. You know, if you think back to when you were in that age, it's like that's how you think. That's how you talk. Like they displayed it very well through film, like the way he wrote it. Right, like
90s.
you can really feel that they're a part of this subculture. They're not accepted in America, and like people judge them because of the way they think, they dress, they act, or you know what they like and what they dislike. He encapsulates that in the film, and I think a part of the way he did that also was because of how he filmed it. Right, I think that was a big portion of it.
That's a good point. Christopher in the chat, Christopher says, and I think he's referring to Rose McGowan here. You tell me, Chris, does she just have one of those familiar faces, or is she avoiding them to manipulate? And then he says, the themes really seem ahead of its time in some ways, like the director was playing with ideas that on the surface are very horny and violent, but also very vulnerable, weirdly, like an edgy A24 movie. That's a great point. That's a great point. I wish this movie was in 4D. I don't know how it would work in the fourth dimension. I feel like causality.
Just imagine the theater seating like rocking to the scenes.
Yeah. It's like, oh, damn.
Whoa, what's going in my butt? Looks like a finger.
Theater attendants is coming in there and feeling you up the whole time.
I like that we're doing this movie streaming live after I invited my folks to watch the live stream. There's 7 people viewing this recording right now. So to you 7, go away now because we're going to talk about... No, okay.
Yes, sir, Mrs. Delatorre.
That's Senor and Senora Delatorre to you.
Yes, that's right.
Do you guys think he's like trying to make like a trying to get across that whole thing about America? Is that just me, or is it because I feel like there's a lot of references going to because even their names is red, white, and blue.
Red, white, and blue. Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up.
Nazis, the song in the end, it's like all American themed. So
this movie is as American as apple pie because I think I've said it before. We pretend not to like sex in this country, but we don't not pretend to love violence. We love violence in this country, and this movie offers up both on a silver platter. Like there is, so I think this movie couldn't be more American if you tried. You know what I mean? So exemplifies that. Go ahead.
Also, the fact that he's like a well-known gay icon, the director, Gregg Araki. He's like, obviously being in that subculture. I don't know if that's the correct term. I don't want to be offensive.
Being part of the LGBTQ community is what you mean.
Yeah, because they're not a subculture. They are, they're just like us, right? They're part of the.
They're a marginalized group. That's for
they are a marginalized group, and so there is a lot of politicizing of like what they have to deal with, right? And so obviously in his films, he's gonna want to have that kind of commentary, right, about America and how the LGBTQ community is seen, and this is kind of like, if you think about it, it's his he in quotes that his heterosexual film, but it's really about like exploration, he he teases like or there's like a very explicit like dialogue where he's talking about when he's if you have a three-way, you can feel the other guy's penis inside the
I'm gonna
it's
clip
like-
that just for social
Yeah,
media.
please do.
I bet.
But it's like this thing. It's this thing, right, where he's like trying to like see, so X is trying to see where Jordan is at, right? You know, and that's kind of the thing too. Like I was thinking about it like when I first rewatched this. Who was it from him, the new movie produced by Jordan Peele?
Oh, one of the Wayans brothers.
Yeah, one of the Wayans brothers, and they talked about
Damon.
he had talked about like how Snoop Dogg was like saying like, oh, in film, like film and TV today, they're trying to like, you know, teach people to be gay, and he's like, what? They're not teaching.
I thought
people
Snoop
to
Dogg
be
was the one
gay.
that said that recently.
That's what I'm saying. Snoop Dogg.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, Marlon Wayans came back. He's like, we're not trying to teach people to be gay. We're trying to teach people empathy. And I think about this movie. That's another thing. A reason why I think I chose this movie. What really pushed for it was because, you know, I throughout my whole life, like since working at Video Depot, I've seen a lot of films that were like LGBTQ theming, like produced films. And you know, I even went like all throughout my life I've seen films. Like there's a movie called Chuck and Buck that with like me and my friend Anna, like we watched it, we went into seeing it. I was like, this is an interesting film. It was like two kids like exploring their sexuality, and it helped create empathy, especially my friend Anna. You know, they identify as, you know, LGBT in the queer world, and it honestly helped me feel more connection to their plight of what they have to deal with, you know. And I think that's the whole thing with like Doom Generation as well. They're creating empathy in a way that makes it feel similar to like the heterosexual, like there's almost this, I don't want to say interchangeability, but like this sort of, again, empathy.
Right, and I like the idea that people on the right seem to think that there's this gay agenda when there's millions upon millions of hours of heteronormative movies and shows and books and comics and video games. That are we trying to make people straight? Like, how come there's no one talks about the heterosexual agenda? Like, come on, you know what I mean? Yeah. You're not going to turn someone gay by showing two men kissing on movies. Is what I'm getting.
I think there's a lot of Araki's like personal like this is a lot of like it's personal, right? Like a lot of this is things that he probably experienced growing up, being identifying as LGBT, and also being a minority group. Like I think he's Japanese, right? So I feel like a lot of it is like very personal, but of course exaggerated, but very personal.
And think about how bold that is given the time period, right? You have a gay Japanese director making a movie with gay themes in a time that was 20 years before same-sex marriage, when it was still taboo to be out, you know, publicly. Like when Ellen came out in the 90s, that was a huge deal, you know?
Oh, even in Japanese culture, it's kind of like really taboo to be queer.
Yeah. And that's one of the many aspects that I appreciate about this movie is that Gregg Araki's really pushing the envelope, and you can tell like this is an auteur film through and through. Like this does not look or feel or sound like it was made by committee, right? Like it doesn't feel like a big studio movie at all, and I think that's what makes it part of what makes it so great.
Going back to like the whole theming of like, does the sexualization of this movie can that exist in today's society? And I say yes. And I say yes because I think the way this movie was filmed was very artistically chosen. I feel like the scenes in particular, although very hot and heavy, they did represent the personalities of each individual character, and the thing I noticed about the sex scenes progressing throughout the movie is that each one kind of like progressed slowly until like the very ending, the climax. I think it's just like them all figuring each other out until the very end, with that last scene, and just kind of getting torn apart by you know, these American men. You know, that was absolutely insane.
With the Nazis.
Yeah, the American Nazis, whatever the hell they were. But
pretty much.
Yeah, so I think the sex plays a huge role in this movie as like a developing scenario over the course of the film. I also think that Xavier and Jacob both play a role as like a devil's advocate kind of thing. Jacob is more of the left side, right side, shoulder type of deal. Jacob is the more grounded, level head, like, hey, think about this. This guy, he's got nowhere to go, or he's, having a hard time. Let's give this guy a chance. And then Xavier's just like, come on, let's just move on to the next thing. Let's do this thing. Just kind of like, I feel like they're just kind of like talking heads in between Amy throughout the duration of the film as well. And even Amy at one point in time calls them like you're like a real devil X, or whatever she says to him in regards to him being like evil. Oh, like you're really evil or something like that. So I feel like Xavier in particular is kind of like in his own right, the devil of the group, just kind of being like someone in Amy's ear the entire time. But Xavier's also that temptation, and she keeps going for that temptation over the course of the movie, while Jacob's trying to reel her back, but he's also keeping a distance because he's like, Jordan keeps reeling her back and being like, hey, do what you gotta do, pretty much. I don't care, but I'm gonna be your voice of reason in some shape or form.
That's a great point. I almost feel like it reminds me of, you got Jordan on one shoulder and X on the other, right? Like how you were saying the whole angel versus devil analogy. Yeah, I never thought about that. That's actually really good.
I agree with you, Justin. But what I do think, though, when it came to Amy, the dynamic between Amy and X, I think Amy already was like that, but she was just, she saw a mirror. She saw X as a mirror, and so he like kind of, she fell for that because of like how alike they were.
And he did that dance that Arnold is doing right now. That's what X was doing to woo Amy in the end.
You know what? I was thinking of something else that was filmed recently that was just as like raunchy, if you want to say. And I did think of something, not a movie, but a show. I had it. It's on HBO. I just told you I was watching it. What is it called again? Euphoria. Euphoria is like that.
Oh yeah, Euphoria.
Right? Oh, that's pretty recent.
Don't know my name.
Yeah.
So I would say a movie like this would be made, and maybe even to an extent of this, maybe even it would go further. I see that the youth of today are exposed to far more than they used to. Like back in the 90s, like you said, Adrian, it was taboo. These days, not so much taboo. I think the only thing that's keeping filmmakers from going just like as hardcore is wanting to keep it under an R rating so they can have audiences come see their movie. I feel like if something like this were to be made, it would definitely be like a streaming exclusive type of deal, so they can have that unrated. By the way, did you guys watch the unrated version or the regular? Because I know there's like 14 minutes.
Unrated, actually. I think
there's an unrated version.
What was the unrated, or what did it add?
Oh, you're right. There's either, I don't know if it's R or PG-13. That was the theatrical release, was toned down, and Gregg Araki has publicly stated that he completely disowns that version. He only stands by the unrated version, which I watched on Canopy. I'm assuming that was the unrated.
I watched it on Amazon, which was through
unrated. I'm assuming
Gregg Araki's streaming service, the Strand.
That's what I watched on it too.
Yeah, that's the one.
Okay.
Was that
Canopy is cool. Do you guys know about? I know you mentioned Canopy. I just learned about Canopy. That's a pretty
great.
cool thing.
Arnold, did you get your library card?
Oh no! I did the what do you call it? The strand. Was it stranded or something? Strangled.
Strand releasing.
Strand releasing.
I don't know what that is.
Yeah.
No, that's what I'm talking about. Strand releasing is the streaming service, which is piggybacked on to Amazon.
Oh, I see.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like it's Gregg Araki's studio, but all his films plus like other queer films that he curates onto that service as well.
And I
don't
just
know
want
if
to
it's
say,
just queer films, but I think it's a lot of his style.
Dude,
gotcha.
I don't think
hope
this
they
is a
keep
movie you
making
can
movies like this, because in an
Yeah.
era where all these legacy networks are being bought by conservative billionaires, it's going to become the Disneyfication of everything if we don't if we don't support your indie artists.
I feel like filmmakers don't have the balls to take risks like this these days. I do feel like it can be made. I just don't feel like a lot of filmmakers they've really watered down their ability to tell stories like this, you know, in this way. Like, this is a movie. I think the only person that I could compare doing this kind of filmmaking is like Lloyd Kaufman from like Trauma, and Trauma's already known for just being balls to the walls. I don't know if you guys
Didn't
have
he recently
seen the
do
new...
Toxic Avenger?
Well, they remade Toxic Avenger, and that was like kind of crazy balls to the walls. Like, it definitely, it's I love that movie so much. I definitely want to buy that movie once it comes out on like.
Yeah, I feel like Gregg Araki and like Jim Jarmusch, for example, and other more indie directors like that. They're the punk rock directors, right? They're not the Spielbergs or the, you know.
They do what they want to do.
They do what they want to do. And even if it makes no money. You know, recently Paul Thomas Anderson came out with One Battle After Another. And Paul Thomas Anderson, you know, it's banger after banger after banger. But here's the thing I learned recently. All his movies combined have only made about $300 million. All of his movies combined. Like, his movies are always, you know, they do great with the critics and with the audiences, but they never make money. And he's a great director. You know, so I feel like he's the closest you get to like a mainstream sort of punk rock director, and followed maybe closely by Steve Soderbergh. I don't know. But yeah, the directors that make bold choices, you know, they're the ones that are going to, you know, be remembered more, I guess. You know, I mean, movies like this, we're still talking about it 30 years later, right? So
On the 30-year anniversary.
on the 30-year anniversary, after we
Almost-
had our
almost to the
5-year
day.
anniversary on this show, the Never Seen It podcast. I
Yeah.
just had to throw that out. Sorry, Alex, you were saying
Crazy,
something? I
No, I was saying almost to the day. I think it came out October 25th, 30 years ago.
wow. Oh,
Yeah.
look at that. Hey, Professor Pixel's back. Professor Pixel was back in the chat.
What up,
He
Professor?
says, hey dudes, Donnie Darko is pretty epic. Haven't seen Toxic Avenger. Have good things about One Battle After Another. Well, yeah. Let us know what you thought, Professor Pixel, once you watch it. Professor Pixel, by the way, is my co-host on the Book Brothers podcast. Quick plug for that. David Cardoso. He also recently wrote a book called Project Red Planet. Arnold, get your library card ready. You're going to read that.
Because you know me, you know, I'm such a reader.
I like how we're always shilling for stuff on this show. Yeah, there you go.
I'm still getting
We got
through this,
food,
remember?
we got comics, we got, you know, other podcasts. Podcast
Are you
layers of
reading that
podcasts.
like letter to letter? It's like, is that why it's taking so long?
It's like, you got that on Comic Con. When was Comic Con?
Yeah, that was like what, 3 months ago already. Jeez, that long?
Two.
It's okay. Listen, as long as you're reading, that's all that matters, Arnold. Even if you read, did you know that if you read one book a year, you're already in like in the top 10% of readers in the country? Because like,
Oh,
that's
I
how
know.
you-
I
Yeah.
know.
That's wild.
That's why I do two books. You know,
Well,
it
who's
isn't
your favorite
coincidental.
author? Dostoevsky.
I was just gonna say, it isn't coincidental. Reading is fundamental.
Oh,
That's what do you call that? An old
Boris Karloff.
set.
I'm gonna put that as the
Saturday
title
morning,
of this episode. It isn't. What was it?
The more you know. It was one of those. The more you know on NBC
Yeah.
things.
The more you...
What's the saying, Arnold? It isn't coincidental. It's incidental. Is that what you said?
It isn't coincidental. Reading is fundamental.
Oh, yes.
But I don't know what it wasn't coincidental in relation
It's
to.
okay.
So I just wanted to say that.
right,
But
thank
you
you.
said what's my favorite author? R.L. Stein.
I love R.L. Stein. Are you
It's
kidding?
kind
Yo,
of
that's awesome. That's good.
kind of up there with R.L. Stein and Bret Easton Ellis. Hey, Adrian, aren't you reading a book by Bret Easton Ellis?
Yes, I
Arnold's
just started
favorite-
reading American Psycho. Yeah.
Which book was
Arnold's
it again?
favorite
American
reading
Psycho?
material is Reading Rainbow with LeVar Burton,
Barbara.
where he reads for you.
Yes.
And that's the tangent of the night, ladies and gentlemen. No.
Love LeVar.
But yeah, back to Doom Generation. There's so much more to say about this movie. I mean, I'm sure, Alex, you've got reams of notes, but The plot wise, the story is actually pretty simple, and it's a road trip movie. And I was reading just a minute ago that even though they filmed it in Los Angeles, Gregg Araki didn't want to show any like famous landmarks of LA. He wanted it to feel like some post-apocalyptic, industrial type city that could be anywhere USA, I guess. But the characters, the plot is, like I said, it's pretty simple. They kind of go from place to place because they're always getting chased by somebody that recognizes Amy, the guy at the drive-thru, the
Bambi.
girl, Parker Posey at the clothing shop, or whatever the hell that was. And then let's talk about the Nazis, the Nazi guys at the very end.
Yeah. I call her Bambi.
Yeah, is that what his name was? I don't remember.
Well, that's what they were calling her. They're like, Bambi, it's you.
Referring to Amy as Bambi.
Yeah.
Wait, so did we have any leading theories on who any of these people are at all? Is there any more context, or did did Gregg Araki just want to leave it kind of ambiguous?
Yeah, it's. I truly believe it was meant to be ambiguous. But like I said, I think it might be like hinting at her past, like how I said, she's a runaway. She doesn't, she does things to get by, so she uses people, but like Jordan is the first person that she doesn't use. She actually genuinely loves him, And if you notice at the very end, he's like, Amy, I love, and then they kill him.
So
And then they choppy.
yeah, so
Yo, that was wild. Huh?
yeah, so let's talk about that. So Jordan is a pure soul. He is the purest soul throughout this entire movie. I did not expect him to get killed in the end. I thought, if anything, either Amy or X were for sure, one of them was going to die. And I thought that Jordan was going to walk off into the nihilistic sunset that, they sort of, I thought set up. But no, in the end, spoiler alert for a 30-year-old movie, Jordan dies. And he dies in a very gruesome way. And do we want to talk about it? Do we want to go into detail, or should we just should we keep it vague?
Maybe,
I guess we did Serbian film, so we could talk about anything at this point.
Exactly. I feel like a lot of movies and. Oh, go ahead.
Did he die from bleeding out from his penis?
Well, I would think so, possibly. But Donnie, what were you saying?
Oh no, I was just gonna say a lot of movies in this during this time frame didn't really end happy, right? I think it was part of the type of movie it was. If you think back,
if you look at
it just
have you guys seen Suburbia?
Yeah, yes. It's Suburbia. Yeah,
wasn't that with Shia LaBeouf?
No.
Who am I thinking about?
This is
Disturbia.
That's this.
Yeah.
I just confused Suburbia with Disturbia. Who's Suburbia?
Suburbia is Giovanni Ribisi is in it.
Giovanni
directed
Ribisi.
by what's the name of the director?
Oh, I know.
Richard Linklater.
I think
Richard Linklater, yeah.
Linklater.
Yeah.
Arnold
Quit
knows.
lying about knowing all this stuff, Arnold. Jeez.
Arnold knows all the directors, Alex. Come on.
Yeah,
You
name
just beat me
20
to it.
directors, Arnold. Name 20 directors.
I'm checking the TikTok live right now.
Alfred Hitchcock.
Michael Bay.
Yeah, sorry, I lost my train of thought there. What were you saying, Alex?
No, that's it.
Yeah, so the ending, yeah, fine, fuck it, we'll talk about it. Yeah, the pure
The ending
soul.
was awesome.
They're having a threesome. They're having a nice little threesome in this weird warehouse. As you do when you're on the run from Johnny Law. Which, by the way,
And
Johnny Law has one scene in this movie and then nothing. And that was another thing that was not paid off. And I'm wondering what the symbolism is behind that, which we can get into. But they're having
That
a
is
threesome.
what you do when you're running from the law and when
Yeah.
you're speeding.
And when you're speeding and when you're eating glizzies from the Quickie Mart and all that and cussing like a sailor, they're having a threesome, and then the fucking Nazis come in. The
Nachos.
Nazis always ruin everything. They come in.
The color of those the nacho cheese in it was like really odd. It didn't look like
Was it like neon orange?
It was.
A little extra neon.
It looked like traffic cone orange.
Okay,
Also-
since you mentioned that, I didn't want to talk about it. Oh, go ahead, Justin.
Oh no, you go. For
Are you guys talking about the semen?
I was going to say. Well, I was going to talk about both, but yeah.
I was like, his semen looked a little chunky. Like, what the fuck was going on there? Did you guys remember that part?
It looked like
I do vaguely remember.
on his hand when he
Yeah, on his hand. I was like, what is that? Why does it have little
little spikes.
micro?
It's
Like
Yeah, little
bubbles.
specksel. Yeah, like texture on it. I was like, what is that?
Oh yeah.
it's his protein. He's not digesting it properly.
Christopher in the chat
Christopher
says it was radioactive.
I mean, they didn't drink water the entire
radioactive.
duration of the movie, so there was no water drinking
Yeah.
at all.
Yeah, Amy just
Oh,
smoked
yeah.
cigarettes the whole time.
Cigarettes and beer.
She had a Diet Coke, I think, once.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, I love the fast food workers' uniforms. Those are great.
Oh yeah, what was that? I don't remember now.
Again, they're just leaning into like a Gregg Araki's absurdism. You know, like let's take something like McDonald's or whatever fast food thing and just like blow it up very exaggeratedly. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It seems like almost like he's friends with like David Cho or something.
Yo, David Cho, man. He's
David
amazing.
Cho,
Gregg Araki's way older than.
different, but like, hey.
Who's
know
David
what
Cho? Is that a wrestler, Arnold?
No,
That's a-
he's
that's a Los
an
Angeles.
artist.
Oh,
You might have seen his stuff.
Arnold,
Look
who's your
into him.
favorite
He's
wrestler?
very
Is it
interesting.
HBK?
Yeah,
Very interesting.
he's a very interesting guy.
Yeah.
Favorite wrestler? It's kind of up there with Val Venus or Ultimate Warrior.
Did
Macho
you
Man.
watch the famous clip that is always a meme on Reddit where somebody throws mankind off a Hell in a Cell or something
Oh, the Undertaker.
Oh yeah.
into an announcer?
Gosh, man.
Is there more context
No.
behind that I'm missing, or is it just a famous Reddit thing?
Go watch the Dark Side of the Ring episode on that.
Dark Side of the Ring. Okay,
Okay.
Yeah, they talked
I've
about
seen
that.
I'm gonna share that clip. Of,
Oh, you did.
I will. See. I will watch it.
I'm
Just
gonna
say
share
you
that
will.
clip
I'll
of,
go watch that. That's all you have to say.
Vince McMahon.
go
What's the
watch
one
Again.
where they're interviewing him and he's like
Oh,
crying
yeah.
and shit?
Yeah, like he doesn't
I
want
don't
to show any
Yeah.
tears. Yeah, that's definitely a meme.
I'm surprised that man can have any kind of human emotion, considering some of the shit he said. But you know what? I'm gonna get attacked by wrestling fans on when I post this. So you know what? I'm gonna zip it because I know.
Dude,
I know how it goes.
I'll give you. I got your back.
Oh, thank you. Dude, I said one time on TikTok, wrestling is for juvenile 13-year-olds, and I got bombarded with hate comments. Like, people were not happy with it. I said that.
it is, but it's also for adults who appreciate like that pro wrestling as well. So
And Alex was one of the commenters.
That's hilarious.
No,
Did
So
I-
those
did I- did I
nachos,
comment
huh?
on?
Yeah. Back to the nachos.
I
Yeah,
love
that
that
shit
of all
was
the
crazy.
Solidified already?
anti-religious, all the anti-religious symmetry and nihilism themes and unabashed sex. You guys are focusing so much on these nachos that I can't even remember.
Because they were atrocious. They were more of what do you call it? They were more of blasphemy than anything else in the movie.
They actually showed up
By
a couple
the
times,
way,
too.
speaking of blasphemy,
But yo, those hot dogs look good though.
those hot dogs.
look
These
good.
did look banging.
Yeah.
Speaking of
Well, they
what,
showed the
Justin?
nachos in a couple times in the movie, right? They had it in.
Oh
the-
yeah, they always
the
had
first
like
scene.
nachos around, but as
Yeah.
like a side character.
Yeah.
But no, the one thing I wanted to talk about was the last scene in that warehouse thing. So I guess I'm a little confused, or maybe I wasn't like fully paying attention to this part. But it's like, did they like hold up in this place for the night? They just found this random warehouse, and then they had like a torch and everything, and then they just saw this like mattress on the ground. They're like, all right, this looks like a good bed to fuck in.
Yeah, I think
so
it seemed that way,
or did
right?
they, or because it also seemed like someone like put them up for the night. They're like, oh yeah, like here's a bed that y'all can have, but it's like dead center in the middle of the warehouse. Like I didn't really understand that part.
I
No, so-
was
so they
operating
were-
under the assumption that they were just breaking into any place they could,
Yeah.
even the hotel.
That's what I
because
thought too.
I never saw them
But
pay for a hotel room or go up to the night clerk or whatever. They just kind of were
Yeah.
in
But
there.
they also like after like they had all those like their little conversations with each other, you know, X talking to Jordan about like having a threesome. Like I think that they did that. Those kind of just led to like them being like, oh, let's have a threesome, right? So they went into it because like especially like after Jordan had seen X and Amy having sex in the hotel room, and he didn't like react in like the very negative way.
No.
He was like actually kind of like turned on about it, and that's one of the things I take from this film too. It's like one of the earliest, at least in my part of like sex positivity. You know, like not being so like, you know, like people are into things and that's okay. You know, no kind of kink should be shamed. You know, it's everything is acceptable. You know, don't yuck somebody else's yum, right? That whole thing. And that's the whole point of sex positivity is like you don't, you know, like what you may
Unless
not
it's
be
for
into
animals.
something. Yeah.
Well, yeah, but I mean yeah, you got to be careful because you don't want to get killed by Nazis if you're too sex positive.
But yeah, I mean that's not there because a side like after effect of like being sex positive. That's that's their problem, right? They're like they're the ones who like are assholes and like don't care. They see Amy as this possession, which is not sex positivity. It's like they're. You know, you see a woman as a possession.
I couldn't help but think. I remember when I was doing Uber, and then I would hang around the area in Palm Springs. There's a area called Arenas Road, and it's there's a lot of like gay bars and everything. But I would hang around there because they're using. You know, you pull up over there, and then you get one ride after another, and you know, there's a lot of business. And so there was one time this guy I picked up. And then he's like, you know, I would always chat them up because, like, I figure, you know, the more that you chat them up, hey, you get a good little tip, you know, have a nice little conversation.
Just the tip.
and then you know, I always start off like, oh, how's your night? And then he goes like, just right into it. He's like, oh, it was great. Yeah, so me and my husband, we have like an open relationship. And then he goes into talking about like, yeah, he's back home, but I'm over here. We're just visiting and stuff. And hit it. I was with some friends, and we hit it off with this one guy at the bar, and we exchanged numbers and everything. And I went to the bathroom. That guy left. I went to the bathroom, and then I made the mistake of leaving my phone on the table. And then they text him from my phone, but not only that, they went through my pictures and they sent one of my dick pics. Look, this is the one that they sent. Look, and then I was like, whoa, okay. And then
what was that?
And then this was the TikTok live, which is currently paused. But he actually showed me this dick pic. You know, he's like reaching around. He's like,
right. He's reaching around to show you his dick pic.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And then he's like, I was like, oh, whoa. He's like, I know, right? But at least it's a good one, right? And I was like, oh yeah, I guess. And then he's like, are you gay? You're gay, right? And I was like,
he was testing the waters. That's all.
Yeah. It made me think of like, you know, how he was testing the waters, just like how Xavier and Jordan were. You know, Xavier, you know, how he sees them first, like in many different parts where they're he's testing the waters, and then Jordan, the very naive, like he doesn't realize, but then he's sort of like testing the waters himself too. Like, oh, what's going on? I'm seeing them go at it, but then let me unbuckle this. I was playing with the yo-yo, but then you don't see the yo-yo going up and down. You see the yo-yo gyrating a little bit like this.
To be fair on your part, Arnold, like that you didn't ask for it to be shown that, so that wasn't right for him to be like, hey, look at my dick pic.
Yeah. Well,
no one should ever do that.
I do think that because a lot of times I would find that, especially if you pick people up starting at midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning, and then if they're by themselves, they go out and they're looking to possibly hook up with somebody. But if they're by themselves, then they didn't achieve their goal. And so I was sort of like their last ditch effort. They're like, I don't know, maybe he's cute, maybe he's gay. You're Palm Springs, right? I could tell another story about that.
Maybe he's cute.
That's okay.
Maybe Arnold, some other time.
Arnold, you are cute. You could get picked up.
I agree.
Well, you know what? I'm going
was-
to piggyback off of Arnold's story because
Please.
I did
well,
Uber.
careful how you say that.
Oh, I'm intending it. No, when I was doing Uber and Lyft in Palm Springs, I actually picked up like 3 gay guys from this place called the Barracks and whatnot, and like they were just. I think they were stoned and drunk out of their minds, but like the whole ride was cool. They were like asking me questions and things like that. I don't think they were like hitting on me or anything, but I dropped them off, and luckily I didn't have any other rides for the night. But they left like this really gross burnt syringe in the back seat.
Oh,
Yeah, it was crazy,
that's crazy.
and that's my experience
is
with
crazy.
that. But I do
yeah.
have a lot of experience like picking people up from arenas as well. Most of the time they're just a bunch of guys hanging out with guys, having fun.
It's a bunch of bros hanging out with other bros. You know, who's that?
Yeah,
Arnold?
it's like this was one of my early Uber riders, very happy
Take a picture
customers.
with them.
Nah,
Nice.
they love that, and they're like, "Can we get a picture with you?" And they're like,
Nice.
"I'm gonna post that on my Twitter."
Oh,
Early Twitter.
wow. For those of you
2015.
watching and listening, we need a little bit more context. In Palm Springs, the beautiful town of Palm Springs, California, there's an area in downtown called the Arenas, and it's known for having, like Arnold said, a lot of gay bars and stuff there. And the Barracks is a gay bar that's not on Arenas at all. It's actually in Cathedral City, that is known for having showers, I believe, open air showers inside the bar.
Yes.
Yeah, but it's not there anymore. Not that I know.
Yeah, I think it got shut down. Or I mean,
Wow.
they were shut down multiple times. I think they officially got shut down recently, right? So,
Yeah.
yeah. Palm
They
Springs
went
is
out
an
of
interesting
business.
town, man. Like there's so many. There's such a cast of characters in that town.
There's CCBC.
I'm
There's Cathedral
starting to-
City Boys Club.
CCBC.
Yeah,
Yo, yeah.
I'm starting to realize that.
Go to
The
quads.
Pride event though, the Pride event is stellar. I love their Pride event. It's
They go hard
crazy
down
fun.
there.
Dude,
Yeah.
it's so
Pun
fun.
intended.
Yeah. Well, Palm Springs is a very progressive city, thanks mostly to the gay men and women that live there. Because you go outside of Palm Springs and it's about as conservative as you can imagine. You know what I mean? Like people think California is this like liberal utopia. And I promise you that it's not. California is a
There's-
very red state. You know,
Palm
and
Springs
like,
has a. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No,
I was
you're
gonna
fine.
say
You're
Palm
fine.
Springs.
That's all I had really. Just that it's a very red state. The OC.
I read somewhere that Palm Springs had more gays per square foot than like San Francisco, which is crazy when you think about that.
Yeah.
And quite
Well, they're
frankly,
private. They're
they
private.
have a lot of people that are of the LGBTQ community that are also conservative, which is pretty insane.
Yeah.
Like a lot of
Yeah,
the
yeah, that's
politics
true.
in Palm
Yeah.
Springs, so there's a lot of
Yeah.
conservative
That is
gay
fascinating.
men in Palm
Yeah.
Springs too.
Yeah.
That is
A
true.
restaurateur friend of mine, I won't say his name, but he told me that like a lot of the gay men in Palm Springs, they might as well be conservatives. They are like, he straight up said that he's gay himself, and like yeah, it's pretty
I
wild.
feel like if I was any other kind of person, I would think that we are doomed, gentlemen. Doomed. No.
We're like a generation that's
We're
doomed.
the
Oh.
doomed generation.
But hey, going back to the Doom generation, that was a great aside, by the way. I'm going to clip that one for sure. Yes, thank you, Arnold, for the this is a thing now, the gyrating hips, you know. Christopher in the chat, while you're doing that, Christopher in the chat asked, if you had to recast this movie
And it
today, who
goes-
would you guys pick? And Christopher says if he had to recast this movie today, and listen to this, guys, X, Barry Keoghan, Jordan Timothy Chalamet, and Amy Zoe Kravitz. That's a great casting,
Hey,
Chris. Thank you for that. I like that casting. I would watch that remake for sure. Or just any movie with those three actors, except for maybe Timothy I can't say his last name. Chalamet. Except for him. I feel like got to replace him with somebody else. I'll think of a name later.
Keanu Reeves.
Barry Keoghan is great. I like Barry Keoghan. Did you guys
X.
see?
For
Yeah,
me,
as X,
would
yeah.
be X for me would be that one guy from Stranger Things who he kind of like flips. He's kind of like the bully mullet guy. I forget his name. I would choose him as X.
Yeah.
Let's see. For Amy, maybe it's just because the Zoe part comes up, but Zoe Deschanel.
No, I got a better one. I got a better
You just
one.
want to see Zoe looking like a
Yeah.
punk rock chick.
And then for Jordan, it would be, shoot, what's that? You know what? Fuck it, because we can. Michael B. Jordan as Jordan.
Okay,
Dude.
here's a mix. One from the 90s, one from the 2000s, and one from the later, earlier 2000s.
A Gen X, a millennial, and a Gen Z walk into a bar.
What's the I can't. She's a local here who plays Wednesday.
Jenna Ortega.
Jenna Ortega as Amy.
Oh,
That's a good one.
Stifler as X. Stifler from American Pie. And then
Stifler.
and Keanu Reeves as Jordan.
Oh, okay. Wow.
Are you talking about a young Keanu?
Yeah, young Keanu.
He means Keanu now. Actually, that would be more interesting.
Keanu now.
How about like Matthew Lillard
Keanu.
as one of the guys?
Matthew Lillard. There's a name I haven't
Yeah.
heard in a while.
Maybe I'm just thinking that because of SLC Punk. I don't know, but I think it'd be a good.
I say replace Jenna Ortega with Mia Goth. Mia Goth as Angel.
Yeah,
Drake.
Mia Goth. I second
Mia
that.
Goth. I
Actually.
had Googled her somewhat recently for some reason.
Oh yeah, you just happened to. Yeah, you were looking for her Wikipedia page. You were doing some research for the show, right?
No, serious. I can show you my search
No, that's
history.
okay. That's okay.
No?
You know,
Oh wait,
no,
no, never mind. I don't want to show you my search
I wonder
history.
if Mia Goth is related to the Goths on The Sims.
I don't know.
Gamer
You should ask
reference. Never mind, you guys.
Christopher
Yeah,
says that was 10-10 casting, by the way, Justin. So, and he says the age gap casting, he loves it, Arnold. So there you go. Nice. All right, guys. Well, hey, we went a little long, but I don't care because there was a lot to say about this movie. I feel like we still didn't get to everything. I feel like we could go on another hour. But you know what?
And I only swiveled my hips twice.
Twice, yeah, and that's 2 out of 3 times. So, all right, guys, back to Doom Generation. Let's wrap her up. I feel like we've reached that point now where we want to give our final thoughts. Donnie, I want to start with you. What are your final thoughts? Where can people find you? Are you working on anything cool? Let us know.
Yeah, you can find me on social media, mostly Instagram _ Donnie Appleseed, all one word. Working on some merch for I have a little car thing that I do, Hatch and Wagon Alliance. So I'm working on that. You can also follow that on Instagram. For those who like hatchbacks and station wagons, photography on 12.5 photography on Instagram. So my final thoughts for the film: I did not have any expectations going into this. I really liked it. I thought it was really unique. It was very exaggerated, but I like how raw it was, and I think Gregg Araki did a really good job of just the way it was done, and with especially taking into consideration the budget that he has, right, or that he had. It's not something I liked it, but I don't know if it's really one of those movies that I would say I recommend it. Like, I feel like it's a very niche audience. It's not for everyone, is what I'm saying. If it is your thing, I would definitely say give it a shot. It's a great movie. I give it 4.5 out of 5.
Nice. Well, thank you, Donnie. Arnold. No, Arnold. We're saving you for last. Sorry. Justin, let us know your final thoughts. Where can people find you?
Yeah, so I didn't know what to expect going into this movie, and I was pleasantly surprised, slightly shocked about what I saw on screen as well. I want to appreciate the lighting and the tone. Everything that the movie had just seemed like an endless fever dream. I loved the reds and the greens, the deep, deep reds, deep, deep greens of the film.
You took the words right out of my mouth.
Yeah, it was, it's pretty. It's pretty much like a filmmaker's like a college filmmaker's go to for the art of and lighting when it comes to filmmaking. I think this movie does it really well. I think you can learn a lot just by watching it scene from scene. Really nitpicking about what's actually happening on screen and learning those tips and tricks, because you don't need a huge budget to make something so fantastical. And this movie is fantastical in a very weird, grungy, punk rock sort of way. And I really like the flair that this movie has to it. like kind of what Donnie's saying, I may not recommend it to somebody that's a little bit more on the sensitive side, especially when it comes to like sexuality. But I think overall this movie was entertaining, very weird, and it's always something weird is always up my alley, when it comes to things like this. So I give it a 3 out of 5 on Letterboxd. You can follow me, GhostNerd88, which is my art profile, but you can always follow the links on that and follow my personal profile, Shibs the Zombie, pretty much everywhere. So just follow the links in the bios and you'll be able to find me on all the things.
Awesome. Thank you, Justin. Great points to be made. Ditto on the lighting. So many different color gels that he used throughout this movie, which is why it reminded me of Groove. They did the same thing in Groove. So many deep, dark reds and blues and greens and purples and all that good stuff. So, nice. Alex, final thoughts, my friend, and where can people find you?
So you could find me at Daily Dares on all the socials, and under the link tree you can find the link to Collectible Galaxy, which I'm selling vintage clothing, if you want to call it that. And then I'm currently working right now on the video for our Arnold and I went to SeaWorld's Hollow Screen. I'm going to finish it probably tonight or tomorrow. It's going to be a little review video. I think it's a lot of fun. We had a great
I'm
time.
excited.
I'm looking forward to. I actually I think I might send it to you, Adrian, to like add a little to zhuzh it up.
Sure,
bit, but
I'll throw Bad Bunny on there and call it a night. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Please do. The Doom Generation. I chose this film. I've always found Gregg Araki to be like a very interesting director. He's one of my favorite directors from the 90s for sure. And when I think about films in the 90s, he's definitely in that world, when I think of films in the 90s, directors, Tarantino, Kevin Smith, Spike Jonze, Gregg Araki is one of them, he's definitely in there. And his penchant for the absurd is like what I love. And in this sort of trilogy, this being the middle, and then if you go watch Nowhere is like taking his style choices to another, even to another level. I was in my notes, I was saying like I want to create a bar themed around like Gregg Araki's like set design. It'd be kind of cool. I want a room that has like all like foil everywhere, and in another room with just like that red tone sort of thing, and then the club. The club would be like definitely like Doom Generation, but also like I think like some like the colors in some of the other his other films, like greens and purples, really cool. Some other notes: 9 Inch Nails at the very beginning really sets the tone, especially today. When you listen to 9 Inch Nails, they're a very like pivotal 90s band, but they're also a very influential band to a lot of bands today, like bands like Help, other people, the Deftones. But the Deftones came up around the same time as well. But like, yeah. And then another thing that I thought was really funny, that Amy says, this place is so fucking boring, says the girl in a goth BDSM club with Blade vibes. It's like, dude, how can this place be boring? I thought that was so hilarious. That was like the first line that she says, and I thought it was great, and it also sets the tone of the comedy in the film. Rose Room Gowan back in the day was my dream girl. Let's see, but yeah, that's it for my notes that I can pull right now. I love this movie. I'm glad we rewatched it. For me, it's a 4 out of 5 stars on Letterboxd.
Nice. All right. Well, thank you for that, Alex. Did you give your socials? I can't remember now.
At the very beginning, yeah.
Okay, good stuff. Arnold, let's move to you, my friend. Your final thoughts, and then, what comes after that? The
Arnold coming from Gilroy, California. No, just kidding.
Air some meats. All right, Arnold, what do you think?
It's been a minute. Well, first things everyone. I like how you guys all did that. Where you can find yourself, where you can be found. You can find me at Arnie Collego everywhere on Instagram. Majority of the time, TikTok. Trying to pump out a little bit more there, but I'm active on those two a lot. A little bit of Facebook, but yeah. You'll see my cooking, see our shenanigans at theme parks. Just me living my daily life, and all the stuff that I'm currently working on, and so a day in the life of Arnie. I try and post a little bit of that. Happy National Pumpkin Spice Day, by the way. I don't know if any of you guys like that. It's October
really.
now, and
Not really.
I like to get that.
Pumpkin spice is garbage.
But I know I prefer a good old just like plain like half and half with some of my lion's mane. It's good for the brain. And it's still warm over here. It's still like 96 degrees over here today, so it's not really like I'm trying to get the pumpkin spice makes me think of like cooler weather. Anyways, okay. So Doom Generation. I didn't know what to expect. I didn't really have any expectations. Just like usual. That's how I usually go into all the movies. And it was final thoughts. So I should have been. I thought I was more prepared, but then I guess it's maybe the beer here. Well, a whole lot of sex in that movie, and we were kind of said it already. Like just the curiosity that they have, and I couldn't help but think of the Serbian film. Now you might be hearing like a sound in the background. That's not Molly. That's Bruce this time drinking water. Bruce, are you finished drinking water?
That's fine. No, it's fine. It's cool.
Okay, yeah.
Wait, did Bruce respond?
No, he don't give a F. Which isn't the first movie called an effed up movie or something like that?
Yeah, totally effed up.
Totally effed up. Then Doom Trilogy, and then
Doom
now here. Nowhere.
Nowhere.
No, not now here. Yeah. Very. That's what I. So I had Googled Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas because I was wondering. I was like, did Gregg Araki also direct that one? But they're very different. But I just thought because this was such a sex-filled movie, and then Fear and Loathing was such a drug-filled movie. I was like, maybe because it's such a something-filled movie, he did the same. But no, it wasn't. But kind of similar era, 1995, 1998. It did kind of fit in with the mindset of I think how people thought of in the 90s. Kind of pretty wild movie. Just the really like a car ride or road trip going from one. Yeah, like I think Justin, or did you mention that it felt kind of like what's that other movie, the Scott Pilgrim?
Natural Born Killers. Oh,
I did read somewhere that this is like a hornier version of Natural Born Killers. I've never
Very
seen Natural Born
loosely
Killers.
Scott Pilgrim, I'll say, only for the fact that it just seems like all the ex-boyfriend style type of thing, coming back to go kill them or something like that. But that's the only relation I got from it.
Like one stage to the next, you have some sex in the to kind of start it off, and then it progresses even more. And what?
Instead of fighting, they had sex.
Yeah. Yeah, there was a little bit of both. A little bit of squirting in there. It's blood squirting.
Arnold,
But it's kind of
We're gonna get flagged.
I know because it was kind of gruesome. I mean, that was kind of wild, like how with the shotgun, sawed-off shotgun. Well, I don't know if that was sawed-off, but like he shoots the guy's head off, and that really did set the tone of like, oh, you know, the kind of the comedy that it was gonna be, and those effects, like you see more of that squirting like later.
blood squirting. You're saying
Blood squirting,
right?
yeah,
Blood squirting.
yeah, blood squirting. It was entertaining. It was a watch. It was a watch. Would I watch it again? Maybe if I owned what themed club or bar were you saying?
Just get Canopy. Just get the Canopy app. Watch it on there. Yeah.
like a foil, like, you know, Alex, I think you mentioned like, oh, if you had a bar that was like covered in foil, like that kind of.
I would theme a bar after Gregg Araki's.
Yeah, a Gregg Araki theme bar. You had that playing in the background. No volume, but then maybe, you know, like some turned up music, you know, some Lil Jon or some you know, Juvenile,
Some John Cena.
some Val Venus.
Can't see him. Can't see him. Can't see him.
But I mean, the ending was kind of bizarre. Which when we go into the Z rating, I'll mention when I did fall asleep. And I had that part I rewatched again, and I was like, because I had to. I guess I kind of told you where I fell asleep, but it was yeah, I don't know. It was really awkward. It was really weird. I don't know. Yeah, it kind of left me feeling weird. Like overall, I'd give it a 2.5 out of 5 Letterboxd score. Yeah, lately it's been a 3.5.
Wow.
But this was, I mean, you would think with all the sex in there and everything that I would give it like a 4.20 or something, or
Yeah. 4.20. Yeah.
But I'm not that kind of guy, you know. I'm not. Okay.
I am.
Arnold, you go to your priest and you say, "This hand is bothering me. I don't know why."
It's because I have carpal tunnel. I've worked at administrative work like my entire
Yeah, you're typing all day.
working
That's
career.
what I meant. Yeah, you're, sending
that's
emails
why.
to give me $1 billion, please. You know, that type of stuff.
Please, pretty please.
You always gotta say please.
That's why Arnold that's why Arnold starts to use vice grips now.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh.
Wait, how do you? No, I don't.
What? Who said that? No.
This
Arnold,
this
go
was
ahead.
a really good beer, by the way, guys.
It was. I like Voodoo
Yeah,
Ranger.
yeah.
I pretty like Voodoo.
Really good beer. Shout out
No
to
free
Voodoo
publicity
Ranger.
though. So you know, until they start paying us.
Quit doing
That's
that.
that's
changing the
like
subject.
that's like I'm a beginner hipster beer.
Hey now, I drink that all the time, and I've been drinking IPAs for years. But anyway, Arnold, go ahead.
Oh yeah. So that's my 2.5 out of 5 Letterboxd rating. Told y'all where you can find me. Lately, I've been working on fixing my knees. I had a little torn meniscus, you know, anything. Still went to Comic-Con and got 26,000 steps, you know. But and you know, Disneyland stuff after that too. But yeah, I've been trying to rehab that. So I don't know. I guess I can tell you about my Z rating.
Well, yeah. Hold on.
Yeah,
So,
Adrian, would you play that music? Play that music for me. BOOTZ too big.
all right, here we go. Z rating. Drum roll, please. This is all going to be edited in. Give us your famous Z rating, Arnold.
So, like similar to like the last time I thought I woke up to my wife telling me like, you fell asleep again, huh?
Which part did it this time?
It was I guess the part where they ran into the Nazi guys in the music store.
Oh, okay. Towards the
Because
end.
I didn't remember
Not bad.
I didn't remember that part.
I don't think you fell asleep to a movie that was less than 90 minutes long, by the way.
Yeah.
Go on, though.
I fell asleep at that part, and it felt like I fell asleep for half an hour. But then, you know, when I went back and rewatched it, I was like, man, I fell asleep for like 2 or 3 minutes. But then there was you know, kind of like crucial, because I at the end when you see these guys, I'm like, who the heck are these guys with the tube sock on their thing, and you know, with the
The Red Hot Chili Peppers.
That's not there's no I don't see any like trees or bushes around. Why they got that around? No, they choppy the pee. So Z, I do have to say I had my favorite ice cream, chocolate malted crunch, and I fell asleep for a little bit.
Well, but what's your Z rating?
So it was self-inflicted. Sorry, I didn't have. I'm running out of lines, man.
You're good. You're good.
I give it a half Z rating.
Not bad.
Because
not bad,
leading
not
up
bad.
to all that, I was like, my wife was like, "There's all this sex in it. No wonder you're awake." But then next thing you know, I'm asleep. So
You're like, I'm up.
she's like, "Which one of you?" Never mind. Which one?
Wow.
Okay. So that's
Yeah.
me.
Thank you.
And we got everybody. But last but not least, BOOTZ Too Big.
Yes,
What's
sir.
your final thoughts?
Well, I'm just going to read my letterbox review verbatim. Doom Generation. Oh, thank you, by the way, for that, Arnold. Thank you for your lovely Z and regular rating. Doom Generation slams like a more deranged mashup of natural-born killers and Itomo Matamien. Gregg Araki cranks up the chaos, diving headfirst into hyper-violence, sex, and 90s paranoia about Satanists corrupting the youth. Amy steals the film. She loves Jordan with a reckless tenderness, but can't look away from Xavier, who bursts into their lives like a nihilistic grenade. Their volatile love triangle throbs with sexual tension, Arnold. Not just between Amy and Xavier, but also between Jordan and Xavier. Their stolen glances, fleeting touches, and unspoken longing hint at something deeper, but the film never lets it erupt. That unresolved spark adds another layer of tragedy and frustration. Jordan remains the calm center, willing to follow Amy to the ends of the earth, pondering life while violence swirls around him. Xavier, meanwhile, revels in destruction, drifting from scene to scene with nothing to lose. I wanted more, though. I wanted more answers about the strangers who mysteriously know Amy, more context for the Nazi punks at the end, more police chasing this bloody trail. But that's part of Araki's game. The film raises questions it refuses to resolve. What it does deliver is a fever dream road movie that never takes its foot off the gas. And for that, I give it on Letterboxd 4 stars out of 5. You can find me on Letterboxd at Boots Too Big. You can find the show on the internet at Never Seen a Podcast, neverseenapodcast.com. We are in many places, many places, which I had it pulled up, and here it is. Follow us on Instagram, TikTok, Threads, Blue Sky, Facebook, X. Visit our website, which has been restored thanks to our former host, Anthony Girardi, neverseenapodcast.com. Email us at podcast.neverseenit@gmail.com. We'd love to hear from you. Subscribe to us on Spotify, Apple, YouTube. And if you like the show, share it, leave a review, leave a comment, whether it's negative or positive. Believe me, we'll read them all on the show. Big thanks to Mr. Kyle Mapson of Burns Lego for our intro music. You can follow Kyle, who you guys recently saw, Alex, I believe. Selfies_food_and_pets. I want to thank our live chat tonight, especially Chris. Chris was saying some really good questions and making some really great statements on the live chat. So thank you for that, Chris. And I hear from a little bird that tells me you're a fan of the show. So we appreciate that. We appreciate you. And everybody else who joined tonight, as well as Professor Pixel, who's always bringing it as well. So thank you for that, guys, and thanks to anyone else who watched us live and who still watched. There's 3 people still, so
I think
live.
we're missing HLP, Healing Laughter Power.
Healing Laughter Power, who interacts with he wasn't here tonight, but Healing Laughter Power, loves us on Instagram. Yeah. He was on last week on our recording.
Always a shout out to HLP.
HLP. HLP and
shout out to everybody on TikTok, man. Our audience, they give us. It looks like we have over 2,800 likes.
Wow! How did that happen, Arnold?
Wow. That wasn't gamed at all.
No, that was all the viewers. Thank you guys. Thank you.
They just love us so much, all one of them, which is Arnold, actually, because he's moderating the chat all night. Anyways,
no
guys,
wonder you have carpal tunnel syndrome, Arnold.
Yeah, you just...
No, not me.
Yeah. Anyway,
I've got,
all right, guys.
My hands are not touching that.
Your hands
They're
are
on
clean.
my head, and they are up here, swiveling the hips.
Like Chris said, this is the what do you say? The gyration generation. Thanks for that.
Generation.
Chris needs to be on the show because he's gonna bring all the laughs. I bet he's gonna. You have some competition, Arnold. I think. Anyways, guys, any final thoughts on Doom Generation? Anybody?
I am
think I talked
gonna
about it.
lop his dick off like a chicken head.
I was gonna say that checkered set, they hand painted that shit. That's fucking sick.
What? Wow.
Yeah.
I remember there
Because
being
of the
a checkered-
budget, the whole budget thing. Yeah.
That's awesome.
But anyways, love the set,
shit.
love the lighting, everything was amazing.